This story is called Together Forever. Eleanor, do you remember when we used to chase each other around that river and one time you sprained your ankle on the rock? Claire reminisced as she and her twin sister sat on a swing on the porch. They both gazed into the distance. The sun was setting, creating a colourful painting, and the birds were chirping in the trees. There was a light breeze caressing their skin and flowing through the small river. Eleanor chuckled. I screamed so loud and you came running to save me. You cried for 3 days straight and made Mum buy you many things. Claire shook her head as Eleanor laughed and patted her back. Let's not forget the time you punched Samuel in the face because he called me ugly. Eleanor smiled as she looked at her sister. He deserved it. Claire took a sip of her apple juice. Claire, Eleanor looked at her. Promise me we will always be together in some way or another. She placed her hand out. Claire placed her hand into Eleanor's and smiled. Eleanor, I promise. We're turning 16 in 2 weeks, Claire stated. Time is flying by. Eleanor stayed quiet as both sisters embraced the silence. Only the serene chirping of the birds and the stream of water echoed through their ears. Elle, I want you to meet someone. Claire pulled out her phone and began tapping her fingers on it. Who? Eleanor looked curiously at her phone. You'll see. Claire grinned. She placed her phone down on the table and stood up. Within 5 minutes, a bell echoed and a skidding sound was heard. Eleanor stood up as Claire ran off the porch towards the road. Eleanor, this is Connor, Claire announced and walked towards the porch, her hands interlaced with a tall, handsome young boy. To her surprise, the porch was empty. Elle, where did you go? She shouted and looked around. What happened? Connor looked confused. I wanted you to meet my twin. She was just here, Claire sighed. She probably went inside, Connor suggested. You're right. Well then, let's go inside. She opened the front door and walked in. They both entered the house, and Claire went to her mother as Connor looked around the house. He saw different photo frames and other artifacts on the walls. That's my sister. Claire snuck up behind Connor as he picked up a photo frame of 2 identical twins. So this is Eleanor? Connor asked and Claire nodded. Mum made dinner. Let's go eat. Claire dragged him towards the kitchen. Can I use your bathroom real quick? Connor looked around. She pointed upstairs. First door to the right. Connor followed her instructions, however got distracted as he saw something in the bedroom. He walked towards a room which seemed to be Eleanor's. He slowly peeked through the door and watched a female staring out from the window. She looked exactly like Claire. Even from the back, Connor was beguiled at how identical the sisters were. He backed away and went to the bathroom, trying not to disturb Eleanor. Then he headed back down into the dining area and watched Claire and her mother Jeanette set the table. Nice to meet you, Connor. Now come on and dig in. Jeanette smiled and pointed towards the seat. Mom, don't forget Eleanor's plate, Claire shouted from the kitchen as she brought the salad in. They all sat down and began eating. 10 minutes had gone by and Connor wondered where Eleanor was. Claire got up and walked into the kitchen. Where is Eleanor? Connor asked Janet. Don't you know, darling? Janet creased her eyebrows as Connor looked even more confused. She hasn't told you, Janet sighed. Eleanor passed away a couple of years ago, but Claire likes to think she's still with us. Connor was stunned. Who was the girl he saw upstairs? Thank you so much for staying tuned. I hope you liked the story. Please leave your comments down in the section below, any suggestions, and I will be back with a new one.